This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 600 for April 22nd, 2019. The generous God treatment.
He giveth and taketh.
He really does.
Hey everybody, Boston here. Just a quick piece of warning. I had some technical difficulties while recording this episode, so I'm using a backup recording, so it's going to sound a little bit different from how it normally does. Apologies in advance, and thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Episode 600. It snuck up on us.
Yes.
And that's my way of saying this is a very special episode where we don't change a thing.
Yes. Well, wasn't it like literally last week pre-show I said to you, isn't next week like episode 600? Do we have anything special planned? It's like, nope.
No,
I all forgot.
I'm so bad at doing that, though. I don't know why.
We need to do the year math then and figure out like when the next anniversary
it'll be
is.
in
actually
November.
try and do something.
End of November. Yeah. So we've got a couple of months to totally forget about it, and everything will work out.
Okay.
All right. With all that out of the way, Moonpeer, what have you been playing this past week?
Nothing. Next.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I've played a little bit of Division 2. I took the generous God route, which I love that was referenced on Twitter. And I jumped into Rob's game and got myself a whole bunch of real high-end gear.
Ooh, hello.
Community member Rob just went in, literally cleared like 5 control points, and in 10 minutes I was like geared up for like World Tier 5. However, I'm going to take this nice and slowly.
Okay.
And I'm going to slowly but surely clear out the world, slowly but surely do all the side missions and all that jazz to get all my mods and stuff. And then, before I tier up the world, I'm going to do every single story mission on hard difficulty.
Ah, now that you're fully geared.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Because
smart.
Literally, people are falling out of the way like grass in wind. It's like, everybody's dead.
Just sneeze on them and the room clears.
Gold people are showing up, and I've got an LMG that has a 100 round mag, and it's a gear tier like 497 or something like that. So I'm like, okay, so you're all dead, and you're dead, and you're dead, and you're all dead.
10 bullets and an elite is down.
So I'm just gonna, brush aside these hard difficulty missions and get my sweet Chivo.
Is there an achievement for it?
There is an achievement for completing every single mission, every main mission on hard difficulty or above.
Okay. Because I know there's also like the in-game achievements. What do they call them?
Challenges?
It's the second tab. What's that?
Accomplishments?
Something like that, yeah. I know there's a whole bunch in there for
there is
patches and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, do the mission and open 20 loot containers, do the mission and no one in your team goes down, do the mission and get 20 headshots. You'll lose all your armor on hard or impossible or whatever they call it. Yeah. That stuff is cool, and I probably won't do any of it. I won't do the in-game stuff because I don't really care about the patches too much.
Yeah, I get a lot of them by accident.
Yeah, same here. Like, there's one in there which is kill someone with your primary weapon in one shot 3 times. Kill somebody with your secondary weapon 3 times with 1 shot.
Jeez.
And don't take damage.
What the hell?
Yeah.
But see, the crazy thing is, if you put something like that in Destiny 2, I'm like, challenge accepted. Let's do this.
Yeah, because it's you.
Your wife in chat says accolades. I think that's right.
Yes, I believe that's what it is.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's Division 2. It's fun. Like, honestly, I just did the jump, so I didn't want to get left behind.
Right.
And now it will allow me to just I'm not looking to grind away. I'm not. I know it's a
Yeah.
games as a service game and so on and so forth. I don't care. I'm not looking right now to put 70,000 hours of my life into this,
Right.
and just to slowly but surely get up to the point where I can go on World Tier 5. I'm not. I'm looking for something that, especially now, I want to switch my brain off kind of game. I want to run in, don't worry about anything, and let me tell you, you do not have to worry about a thing on World Tier 1 when you're that high of a gear score.
Yeah, there was an interesting conversation on Twitter this morning about Massive announced that the gear score 515 gear is going to be dropping from Dark Zones, and then the next higher gear is going to be dropping from the raid after that. So I'm going to assume 530.
Yeah.
And people are sort of up in arms in it. I sort of asked the question this morning. It's like, if you're already 500, does 15 more gear score matter if you're not playing PvP? Like, it doesn't really seem like it. And Maximus Prime in the community said, "Well, I like being max gear score," and I can certainly respect that. But it seems like the community is sort of saying two things at the moment, which is number one, this sucks, and number two, I don't do the Dark Zone anyway. It's like, well, then does it really matter that much? So interesting.
I mean, it's something they did in Division 1. Like, they had really high-end stuff in the Dark Zone.
Right.
And they will get to the point, just like they did in Division 1, where you have people who literally go in and try and wipe a server out. Like, they literally make everybody quit the server they're on because they just hunt people down and kill them.
Right.
And then people won't go in the Dark Zone.
Right. And I mean, like, that's part of the reason why I'm glad they put raids in the game, because that should definitely be the stuff that gets you the highest gear. It'd be nice if there was another opportunity through, like, maybe extreme PvE challenges to get stuff that aren't raids. Maybe like the impossible difficulty missions. Maybe that's where you get another chance to get that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I meant to ask you, when you increase your world's tier from like 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, do you lose all your capture points again?
That I don't believe so. I'm not 100% sure because I'm still at World Tier 1.
Me too. I haven't played much lately.
From what I understand, it redoes all the missions and it does the invaded missions.
Okay.
And then you can, once you've cleared out the invasion missions, you can go in and replay them on the harder difficulty. So you can that's when you can go in and like choose what difficulty you want to do on and what mode. Like you can do story, invasion, normal, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And once you've done that, from what I understand, you've got to go do the strongholds again.
Yep.
And then when you do the strongholds, it bumps up the world tier, but it doesn't reset the story missions back to invaded. It just resets the strongholds. So then that's the loop. Like, my maximum gear drop right now is 300, which I believe is the maximum gear level for World Tier 1. Okay. And I think when you get to like World Tier 2, the maximum gear drop level is like 350, maybe something around those lines.
Gotcha.
And so on and so forth, all the way up to World Tier 5.
Yeah, because every time you look at a stronghold, it's like you need to finish these story missions and be gear score X to be able to go start it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I'm just like wiping out all of the side missions and things like that. Like all of the stupid things that I didn't do before the invasion stuff happened is like, I want all of my mods. I want all of my stuff that I can craft. Yeah. And then I'll go back and do a Google search and see how many jangly bits I can get, and then go back and try and get all of the jangly bits.
Get all the keychains,
Yeah, just because it's the one thing I care about. Like it's the same in Siege. Like I don't care about the skins. I don't care about like the colors and the stuff like that and the XP. But you give me a jangly bit and I'm 100% in, because it's like I love me a jangly bit, and the space shuttle can only do so much for me right now.
Right. It's the same thing with me for emblems in Destiny. It's like they're not, honestly, they're probably just PNGs, but I like collecting them, and they don't really do much, but it makes me happy.
Yeah, and for me as well, like they have an invasion event on right now, which kind of makes me laugh a little bit, where they're doing like limited time challenges, so you can get a bunch of apparel keys for the invasion apparel, which is all like the Black Tusk stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. there is I think we talked about it last week. There's a special limited time item, but they don't tell you what it is.
Right.
I think that is a jangly bit, but I'm not 100% sure.
I almost don't want to know.
I don't. If it is a jangly bit, don't tell me, because
Yeah.
I started it too late to be able to even get close to it. So
it's cool that they're doing those events, though, and I wish the game did surface a little bit more, because I still see people getting upset about it getting duplicate apparel items in the chest where you create the key based on,
Yes.
So for anyone that doesn't play Division, every time past level 30, every time you level up, you get like a proficiency cache, it calls it. Open it up, it comes with like 2 or 3 items and comes with some like key fragments for the apparel chest. You build a key and you open the chest, and sometimes you get duplicates, which just turn into those fragments again.
it turns into XP.
Okay.
And then obviously XP, chest, fragments, so on and so forth. It's a cycle that feeds into itself, not at the rate you'd like it to for duplicates.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would prefer the Apex Legends approach of no duplicates,
Right.
please.
Well,
Thank
you don't
very
get
much.
duplicates for the premium crate. As I understand, I haven't bought any of that currency. So apparently that one is a knockout system. So if you get it, you're not going to get it again, which seems fair. That's how you would want it.
Honestly, I don't mind, because one of the first times I opened an apparel chest in the game, like one of my first free ones, I got the Honor Guard uniform, like the top, like the blue military outfit,
Right.
which is classified as golden or whatever that's called in this game.
Yeah.
And then very recently I got my pants, so
Nice.
I have the outfit. So
Man.
my amazing look continues.
I know people make fun of Division for it a little bit, but I really dig that I have like a long sleeve t-shirt on and like some rugged looking pants on my character. I think she looks pretty cool, like with the backpack and the vest and all that stuff. Like it looks like how she would look in real life. And
Because the
I kinda
Division
dig that.
agents are supposed to be just dudes.
Yeah, like I dig that. Like she looks like a real lady that would be, an agent. I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty neat.
I always kind of like the casual attire, like the casual military style that they've got going on. I've always kind of loved that from the first game all the way through to this. Don't get me wrong, I love stupid costumes too. Don't tell my wife, but I did get 2 emotes, and I'm pretty sure she wants one of them. So I haven't showed that one off yet.
And I mean, it is significantly different from something like Destiny, where it's like, I'm a space reindeer. It's like, okay. It looks cool, but it's a little different.
Honestly, I love it. It's one of those things where it's like, I get mixed feelings about it, but I kind of want them to lean into it sometimes. Like, Siege's stupid rainbow outfits are hilarious. So I think if you give it a couple of years and let them lean into stupid stuff, like, I want like a Christmas event, and then you can get a Santa costume, like,
Sure,
to
or at least
run
a
around
Santa
with.
hat.
Yeah, so you can run around in the Division with it. It would be great.
Go in the dark zone and say ho ho ho, and just pop out and
I have a
shotgun
machine
them.
gun.
Yeah, exactly. That was good.
But no, it's the Division. At this point, it's been highly spoken of by pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm struggling to find people who legitimately don't like this game. I'm
Right.
finding people who are indifferent to it, and that's fine.
Well, and I can respect people that say I don't like games as a service games, which I can certainly respect, and I would still say Division has a 40-hour campaign that you can play solo, and it's really good. So, and then once the invasion happens, if you don't want to play anymore, that's fine.
Yeah. Let me tell you about my mortar turret, who rocks, by the way.
I have seen. I'm
The
surprised
demolitionist.
by the number of people. I definitely understand it, but I'm surprised by the number of people that finish the game and put it over to World Tier 1, and then they're just sort of like, cool, so I wasted all that time. It's like, well, not. I get it, but not really, because it's pretty different now, but I feel like that's a hard sell for some people, understandably.
It was a little bit for me too, but then I got like I said, I'm referring to it as the generous God treatment,
Right.
because that was what Rob posted to Twitter, was the King Xerxes, I am a generous God,
Right.
gif, which is very appropriate for this kind of game, where it's like, oh, like, for example, you and Mac are generous gods to the Hannah community member.
Yes. The hand is now level 50 in Destiny 2. About to start Forsaken, which is a real emotional ride.
But, it's one of those things, like, I get it. It's like, it can feel like a time waste, and if you're done with the game, that's fine. You're done.
Yeah.
Tap out, play something else.
It's not like Destiny 1, where it was 8 hours, and it's like, you're done. It's like, it is 30, 40 hours.
Yeah, it's not like it's a short game.
Yeah.
It's just, it's astonishing the amount they hold to the end. I think it's something that games don't do enough. Like, they hold, they put everything out front and just like, here is all this content, we're done.
Right.
Like,
start the grind.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's Division 2, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
If you're interested, play it, so on and so forth. I played a bit more Breath of the Wild. The Koroks seed hunt continues as I try and figure out what the heck I'm doing.
Just in the game in general?
In general, yes.
Yep. Breath of the Wild.
I've gone to... Okay, so I visited Kakariko Village, which I didn't realize it was Kakariko Village when I talked about this last. Where Impa is currently the old lady. Is Impa, which is a great reference.
Yep.
I then went from here to the mad scientist lady who lives on the top of a mountain.
She's fun, yeah.
Yes, she is, and she does the total anime like poses when she's talking to you, which is great.
Really good.
Then I went back to Impa, and it's like, hey, here are these memories. Go beat Ganon or recover these memories. Yeah, whatever.
Can I make one suggestion for you?
Beat the memories or find the memories?
Find all of them before you beat the game, because you'll get like a little cutscene at the end once you do. And they're pretty easy to find.
I found one, and that was me riding like a devil to get through this really tough area to get to the stupid mountain pass so I could stand on the glowy thing and then run as fast as I could back to the place where I was going to get killed immediately.
Right.
I have uncovered 2, 3, 4 sections of the map now. Like, I've climbed 4 towers.
Gotcha.
And right now it's just a case of, okay, so I don't know where to go.
More shrines, I guess?
Yeah. I'm currently taking photos of every single living and not living being on the planet, I
had a lot of fun with that.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch photos of a swarm of like seagulls over the water is dumb, but sure, I'll do it just to get a seagull.
Get that check mark.
Yes, get that check mark, get that photo. It doesn't matter how stupid it looks in the thing. Can I delete the photos from the memory as soon as it's logged?
I had to Google it because that was my same question. I want to say yes, but I want to say it's been long enough. I don't want you to trust me.
Okay.
I would Google it.
Okay.
That way you can blame some anonymous internet person instead of me if I'm wrong.
I'm still going to blame you anyway. That's fine.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm literally just running around the place, like, just exploring. Like, having fun / exploring / confused as to what to do next, because Breath of the Wild doesn't exactly give you a giant pointy finger like most of them do and say, go this way.
Cough, Ubisoft, cough.
Yes. But no, Breath of the Wild's still good, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and it's fun, and I get to play it with an Xbox controller. I'm never going to not mention that because it makes the world of difference to me.
So we're currently on We Roguelike talking about Cave Blazers, and I'm playing it on Switch, and man, I really wish I had a different controller for some of these games. Some of them are fine, but some of the more action-oriented ones, and part of it is me not using the Switch enough. Like, I'm fine with Darkest Dungeon because that's not exactly an action-packed game. But, well, maybe not in the same way. But there are some times where it's just like, if I could just hook like a DualShock 4 up to this bad boy, that would be really great.
Yeah. I love my Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Even though I'm performing the ultimate sin in using my Scorpio edition for everything else.
No, I feel like I feel like it's an accessibility thing in some regards, and the other, in some other regards, it's sort of like, hey man, this controller works really well, and you know it by heart, so just use it on everything.
Well, for PlayStation, it's like literally I get RSI if I play on it using a DualShock 4.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
save me the hassle.
It's not even preference at that point. It's just, my hands.
Yeah, it's just pain management.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 causes me pain management. That tells you everything you need to know about the PlayStation 3,
Right.
doesn't it?
Does that dongle work with other consoles, or do you have to buy a dongle for each console?
The one dongle I have, kind of luckily, I bought it for the PlayStation 4. It works with the Switch as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just have to treat it like you're resyncing a controller. Essentially, I wish I had it up here so I could actually show you. But basically, it's a dongle that sits in the battery pack and it juts out the top of the controller, and it removes the functionality of the main guide button and puts that on the button on the actual dongle itself. So, like, whatever it's hooked up to, you hold that button on the dongle instead, and it starts it into syncing, and you just plug it in via USB to whatever you want to use it on. Syncs, unplug it, and it works fine. And on the PlayStation's case, you can't do it with the Switch, but on the PlayStation's case, if you hit the dongle button instead of the main guide button, it turns the PlayStation on, just like the PlayStation button would.
Nice.
That's sweet.
Who makes that again?
I can't remember. Okay.
I keep wanting to promote it, and every time we talk about it, because it sounds like it just works, and that's great.
It literally just works, and my favorite thing is the dongle has motion control in it. So it comes with those features that you would prefer to find on the other platforms. Like, yeah, it doesn't have the light thing in it that the PlayStation controller does.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the light bar,
doesn't really
but
do
it
anything.
does have motion control. And I only learned that through playing Breath of the Wild and wondering why my aiming was like wibbling all over the place while I'm trying to shoot an arrow.
You're laying in bed and you're just shooting up into the sky.
I was like, why is this not working correctly?
Yep.
It's like I have a low frequency shake at all times anyway. You know, I don't like motion control for that kind of reason.
Yeah.
But no, it works. It's great. I turned off the motion control on it. And it even works to do the Jeff Gersman trick for the stupid shrine puzzles in Zelda.
Oh, God, that stupid trick. I like those shrines.
I've found one so far, and I hated it because the ramp didn't align correctly with the end of it.
Ah, sure.
So you had to jump it over onto the actual path. So in the end, I just got bored and flipped my controller upside down. Yeah. I did give it a proper try first.
I appreciate it. I'm not going to be that guy who's like, you know, you cheated yourself and you cheated the game. You know, that meme that's out right now. But you know, it's one of those things where like a lot of people haven't given it a shot, and it's sort of like, oh, they're kind of fun puzzles, but there are a couple that are just broken. It's like, yeah, flip your controller, it's fine.
Yeah, it was literally, I had to get the ball in, and when it was rolling down, I literally had to flip it to jump it over this gap to get it onto the actual, you know, onto the path itself. So I kind of got frustrated with that, and that's when I decided to, you know,
flip it up.
Flip it up. Just Jeff Gersman trick, that's fine by me.
Yep.
But yeah, Breath of the Wild is amazing. I played Tetris 99, 6th place. 6th! 5 more to go until I get my victory, but 6th place.
Man, getting better. Tetris Master.
No, come on.
Tetris Master in training.
Okay, we might go with that one.
Yeah. Tetris Apprentice in training.
That sounds offensive.
Tetris Yeoman in training.
I like that. I like yeoman. Yeah. That's a good term. That's a classic term. I'll stick with yeoman. I'm a Tetris yeoman. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Tetris 99. Number 6. Next update will be number 1.
That's right.
Hopefully.
All right, Nimp, what have you got?
Well done. Hold on.
Oh, I thought you were all done.
That's all on Tetris 99.
All right.
My final game was Humans Fall Flat.
Oh, okay.
Which I need to get rid of some games on my hard drive, so let's go achievement hunting in Humans Fall Flat.
Right.
Which is just dumb. And it's plasticine. Wait, do you guys call it plasticine over here?
We don't, but I don't remember what.
Play-Doh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Play-Doh men running around a whole thing. And I'm teaching myself the swing and climb, which is hold one hand, swing, grip second hand, swing, grip second hand, swing.
Right.
Just so I can skip entire sections of the game.
The old brothers, A Tale of Two Sons move.
Yes, exactly. So I'm doing the swing and grab so I can literally here's my achievement list. I have the True Achievements app installed on my Xbox. Thank you, True Achievements.
I had no idea they had an app.
The best part is when you go into your achievement list on your dashboard, it says, search this in the True Achievements app.
That's really
and
good.
You click it, and it opens the guide for that achievement in the True Achievements app.
That's really
so you can just bounce backwards and forwards between the two apps and get the achievements you want.
Man.
So I'm literally just messing around with it, getting some of the stupid achievements, because I love dumb achievements. Like, I love achievements in general. I love dumb achievements the best, because, like, fall head first into the finish of this level. Okay. So
we were talking, we recorded the Game Club recap episode for Superhot, and Musim was talking about the VR version where you get an achievement or a trophy for shooting someone without even looking at them. And it's like, that's great. That's stupid, and I love it.
Yep. And you meant to do that / didn't mean to do that bullet and sword thing, which...
Yep.
I love dumb achievements. I just do. And if they put a funny descriptor in and stuff like that, it's even better.
If they have a great picture for it, that's even better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I just love stupid achievements and they're fun. Like, stack these 4 boxes, which is actually a puzzle of how to stack the 4 boxes on the level with the 4 boxes, because you've got to manipulate the systems of the game to get the boxes to respawn further ahead than they would normally. So it's real interesting, like, sideways thinking, lateral, that's the word I was looking for, lateral thinking of how you solve this puzzle in the specific way that they want you to. But Humans Fall Flat is so dumb. It's Play-Doh, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm going to swing and climb and get the rest of those achievements because I like to. Now, that's all I've been playing. Take it away, Nick.
Over to you, Nim.
So I had a fairly busy week, so I don't have a whole lot. But the first thing I did was I went back to Borderlands 2 VR, wanted to mess with a lot of the control schemes and trying to get the settings right so I wouldn't get sick. And I think I have it down a lot better than it was before. But as I was playing it, I was starting to work my way up to the first boss. Was it Knuckle Dragger, Knuckle Buster, whatever the big ape thing is? Yeah. And as I was remembering that he was coming up, I was like, oh, this is going to be horrible. But right when you get into the boss fight, it brings up a new system for you to use, and it's basically like a bullet time where you hit circle and everything just slows to a crawl. So you can sit there and you can get your shots off really fast, and you can still move around and stuff, and it lasts for probably about 5 seconds. And then you just got to wait for it to recharge back up again, and that takes about another 5 to 10 seconds. So that's made it a lot easier.
It's like Prey's combat focus.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
So that helped out. And then, of course, since I was thinking, okay, hey, I've got it down where I don't feel sick, I was like, let me try it with the motion controller, the move controls that came with it.
Right.
And the controls suck. For you to be able to move, so the little bulbs act as your hands, and for you to be able to move, you have to hold down the motion button or whatever they call it on the left motion stick, and you have to point it forward. You walk forward, point it backwards. You walk back.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So the entire time while you're playing, you see your hand going back and forth like you're trying to direct traffic while you're trying to move and stuff.
That's
and then
so dumb.
And then for you to be able to turn left and right, rotate left or right, you have to hit the X or circle button.
Oh,
so the
God.
whole thing is messed up.
This makes me think of that dumb Kinect game, which was literally like using those hand motions to move forwards.
Oh, which Kinect game was that?
It was like a horror game, dude. It was. I don't even remember the name of it because it was so bad.
I don't remember. I do remember that where you look at it and you're like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
So after I got past that boss fight and I switched over to the controls to try that out, that's when I got motion sickness again. So I was like, all right, give this a break. So it's getting better, but I don't recommend using the motion or the move controllers for that game, because you can't even remap the buttons at all. The way it's set up is the way it is.
Yeah,
that stinks.
May I recommend through friend of the show, Mr. Musim, Superhot for VR experience?
Yes.
I was thinking about that, but I thought of another fantastic VR game because we were talking about Zone of Enders last week, and then I remembered that they re-released it for the PS4 because I already own it for the PS2 and the PS3. Why not buy it again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
and I played that in VR, which I had thought I would get horrible motion sickness out of that game because Jehote just jumps and moves everywhere in a 3D
super
space.
fast game.
Surprisingly, though, didn't get anything from it. Played it for 2 hours straight, no issues.
That's awesome.
And a lot of the things that they do is they'll put lock-on icons throughout the map. So while you're flying, you can lock onto these, and it'll keep Jehote looking in that direction. That way, you're not constantly, bobbing this stuff.
Smart.
And while you're moving your head with the VR headset on, it's basically like the pilot, moving its head in the cockpit. So, you've got the full cockpit in front of you. You've got everything. You can see Jehote too, which was kind of funny because when I'm trying to play it, I'm looking up and behind me. You can see its head. Its arms are to the side.
That's so cool.
I had grabbed a beam, just pulled one off the wall, and you can see it hanging onto the beam. It was really weird looking at all this through the phallic cockpit, but
I need PSVR.
Yeah.
I mostly want it for like the stuff like that. Like, I know Beat Saber is great, and I would, of course, I own Tetris Effect, so I'd play it there. I'd play Rez's Area X, of course, but I want it for like Zone of the Enders. I want it for Astrobot. Like, I can't play Astrobot without VR. I'd want to play it for Moss, because you can't play with that without VR. Like, I'd love these other sort of games that maybe aren't, unfortunately, getting as much coverage.
Well, with Zone of the Enders, I wanted to see how crazy I could make it to see if I could get myself sick.
Right.
So in the beginning, there's a section where you get swarmed by these enemies called mosquitoes, and it's literally like 100 to 200 of these tiny little things that shoot at you. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do close combat on this with the auto locking on, so that way when I destroy one of them, it just automatically auto locks on.
Right, like
next.
flips you around.
Yeah, and basically that just turned into Jehote just flipping and moving, and all I kept doing was just bashing square, and I'm like, I'm not even looking at anything because everything's blurring so fast I can't even track it in my mind of what's happening.
Right.
But it didn't make me sick. It was fine. It looked really sweet.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's a big thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
And then the last game that I played, because everything was hectic, was Elite Dangerous again.
Shock.
Yeah, I know, right? I actually made a squadron for the Xbox One version, and I made that yesterday, and as of this morning, I already have the squadron up to, 986 rank in trade out of 1,710.
Hey.
Because you have a problem.
I know, and the HOTAS is just sitting there asking for me to touch it.
Go back into space.
Yeah. So I did a lot of stuff, and a lot of it was just deep space missions where I was just kind of sitting there and listening to podcasts. Like, I just turned in this mission for 5 million, and I got to turn back and go grab another one. So
yeah, it's like the perfect chill out sort of thing, where it's like, I've had a rough week. I'm gonna hang out in space for a while.
Yep. Did you see the video that Boston retweeted this week on Twitter? I love that video.
For anyone watching, someone was just hanging out in space, and everything in their cockpit shuts down, and then some super creepy things spawn around them. And I was like, this is making me want to play Elite Dangerous. I know I would never run into that, but oh boy,
you will. I've ran into them twice so far. One pulled me out of hyperspace, which scared the crap out of me because nothing in this game can pull you out of hyperspace.
Right.
That's the place where you feel safe.
Yes.
Doing that jump.
And I had the same thing happen where as soon as I got pulled out, before I could even see what was happening, I just lost everything. So that scared the crap out of me because I thought I screwed up somehow and I was going to die.
Whoa, right.
And then I saw that thing and then I was like, oh crap, no, I really am going to die. And then it scanned me, turned around and left, and then all my systems came back up and I was good to go. I'm like, this sucks.
That's crazy.
Man. But yeah, it's a great game. But that's all I've been playing.
I finished the Spelunky boss fight book.
5 out of 5 stars.
Yes, 5 out of 5, hands down, 100%, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to rate it. I think for anyone who's interested in video games, this is a must-read. Even if you don't care about Spelunky, even if you don't like reading, whatever. You should read, people. reading is good. I think this is such a fascinating, rare, really honest look at the development of a beloved game. He has code snippets in there. He puts a bunch of code for how to generate levels and what it looks like to the engine, and then how it translates that into graphics. He has chat logs from the development of the game. Like, everything 100% behind the scenes is in that game. Even from Inception to the Spelunky Classic to the bomb of Super Meat Boy on XBLA, to what that meant for Spelunky on XBLA by itself, and then porting it to other stuff. Really, really interesting.
When you say bomb of Super Meat Boy, you mean the giant explosion of everybody loves this game?
No.
Or do you mean
the implosion of the Meat Boy team over?
Oh, okay.
So if anyone doesn't remember, XBLA was fine, and indie games were doing well up until Braid came out. And then there's this massive explosion of, oh my god, one person made this, it's so good, and all that.
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy was the next big thing that Microsoft had in their pocket. And the promises they made Tommy Rafanes, I think is how you pronounce him, and Ed McMillan, was, this is the thing that's coming out this week. It will be 800 Microsoft points. So it's like $10.
And it was supposed to be on the front page, like, first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it was like they screwed up real hard.
Right, and it was one of a couple of things that launched that week, and it was like number 6 on the store. Like, Team Meat got really, they felt like they got really screwed. No one knows really what happens. You know, there's two sides to every story, of course, but certainly Team Meat wasn't very happy about it, and they made that very public, which was affecting, it was a concern of Derek Hughes when Spelunky was coming out, where it's like, look, this dude and I have been working forever to get this game out. Like, I don't want it to come out at $15 and then sort of get shuffled into the back corner of the store, which it did okay for them, but then they put it out on everything else, and every other platform did super well. So
yeah.
But Spelunky 2 is coming out this year, maybe?
Don't remind me, dude. Don't.
I'm sort of forgetting about Spelunky 2 until it comes out. Then I can say, like, all right, we can dive into Spelunky 2 and we'll be ready. Because I never played Spelunky 1 a ton. For the better.
Spelunky 1 was, before Isaac, Spelunky 1 was my roguelike.
Yep.
Hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Oh, and the interesting thing also in the book was the genesis and the development of daily runs, which is the thing we sort of take for granted in most roguelikes today. But the that's my daughter decided not to take a nap today, so you're gonna hear a lot of that.
No TV.
Yeah. So hearing the genesis and the development of the daily runs and how difficult it was to make daily runs happen, really, really interesting. Go buy this book. Go read it. It's really great. It's super short. I think it's like 220 pages. So it's not, and it's really casually written. It's a really easy read. The next book I started was Metal Gear Solid by Ashley and Anthony Birch. I am not in the mood for their writing style right now, because it's very much them. The two of them are writing about Metal Gear Solid. So I went back to Night Watch, which is what Moon has been asking me to read for a while.
Finish that book.
I'm moving through it fast now that I've gotten the first section done. Who's the author? Let's plug this again. Sergei
Lukvanenko, I believe.
Yeah. Search for Night Watch and look
series.
For Sergei. It's really good. Nowadays we'd call it urban fantasy, but it's more than that. It's pretty good. Played more Enter the Gungeon. I finally unlocked the Paradox, which is the for those of you that play Binding of Isaac, this is Eden, basically. You pay some hegemony credits and you get, it's like, you usually get like 2 guns and 1 passive item, and they're all random. So far that has been pretty fun, as it usually is. I like those random characters in roguelikes, and I would like to see more of that more of that happen in more roguelikes. But now I have to use that character to unlock the final secret character. Basically, you have to take that character and go all the way through the game to the very end and beat the Lich. It starts you back over, then you have to beat that character's past. So you basically have to do 2 runs back to back. And I am not great at fighting the Lich, so we'll see if I can ever do that.
Yeah, but at one point you were also not great at fighting Mom's Heart, or not great at fighting...
That's true.
Mega Question
Satan.
Mark, or Mega Satan,
Right.
or any one of these other people.
Yeah, I wish I had played a little bit of Enter the Gungeon as it had been released, because I played a lot originally, but I never really got back into it like when Supply Drop came out. And I'm sort of feeling that now, because there's so many more items and characters, and I still have to beat the first 2 secret characters' pasts and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff for me to do, and it's not a bad thing, because Enter the Gungeon is really good. I just also, there's a little bit of guilt because I feel like I have other stuff to play.
Everybody has other stuff today, dude. I got 400 games installed. It's fine.
Yeah. So, I'll get to the other stuff later. I picked up and started playing Picross S2 on the Switch. I had picked up a while ago the first Picross. I think it's just called Picross S. It's a solid Picross title. I think one of my criticisms of it is I wish it had more easy puzzles. To me, I want more people to play nonogram games, Picross games, and I really wish it has a solid tutorial. I wish it had more 5x5 puzzles, because those are really great for tutorializing people on nonograms. I feel like it has like maybe 10 5x5 puzzles, and then all of a sudden it's like we're doing 5x7s, 10x10s. Like you get into the bigger ones a little too quickly.
It's like jumping into Sudoku instead of having 2 letters missing at the first time. Now all of a sudden, or 2 numbers missing. Now you've got 1 number at all. Now find the rest.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you can do it, but you sort of want the really easy puzzles to get you into it, because there's a lot of stuff. I feel like Picross S does a good job of teaching you the middle level strategies for the game. Like, if you have a 10x10 grid and one of the lines just has the number 8 in it, you can fill out the middle 6 blocks, because the rest of them are going to fill in one direction. I feel like these games do a pretty good job at tutorializing that stuff. I wish it was a little bit better about tutorializing Picross Mega, which is a mode I'm still having a hard time understanding the second time I'm trying it. It has a fine tutorial. I still am kind of not getting it, and I need to just put my nose to the grindstone and just try it. But they did introduce a new game type in this called Clip Picross. And it reminds me a little bit of the fractal puzzles in Puzzle Arcade.
No.
I know, that's what I thought. So if you're a new listener to TVGP, you might not know this show's undying love for an Xbox Live Arcade title called Puzzle Arcade. It's, to date, the only digital puzzle game I've ever found that functions and is fun to play.
Yep.
Because the bar is set really low, and Puzzle Arcade is really good. Backwards compatibility, please. So fractal puzzles in Puzzle Arcade is you get this big puzzle, it breaks it out into smaller puzzles, and you build just a cat scaling you. You build a bunch of puzzles to make bigger pieces to make bigger pieces to make a puzzle. So you're sort of one puzzle can turn into like 2,000 mini puzzles, and it was really satisfying to like build 10 mini puzzles to build a puzzle piece to build a big puzzle.
Yeah, it's like taking a 2,000 piece puzzle and then making it a 2 million piece puzzle.
Yeah, and it was, God, it was so good. Puzzle Arcade is so good. Somebody just steal how Puzzle Arcade worked and just make another one. Like, it's, anyway, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. Puzzle Arcade is really good. What Clip Picross is you have a bunch of mini Picross boards that are all kind of connected to each other somehow. I don't know how they all connect to each other. The real bummer of it, though, is you only get mini boards unlocked as you progress through the main Picross boards. So you have to make some progression in the regular Picross stuff to unlock pieces of the Clip Picross, which sort of stinks. Like, I'm going to go through that stuff too, but I want to play the new mode. And I had to, like, finish 6 puzzles to get the first 2 pieces in Clip Picross. And it's sort of like, oh, come on, man. Like, I paid, like, $15 for this thing. Can you just unlock everything? Like, I do want there to be some progression in the main puzzles, but you can, if you want to, you can go to the very last puzzle in the main one and just start that one, if you really want to. And it's a little bit of a bummer that you can't do that with Clip.
It's the Smash Brothers thing of...
Yeah.
Do you want to unlock these 66 additional characters on top of the base 8, or do you want to just have them?
Yeah. And it's like, with Smash Brothers, I'd be okay if you have them all unlocked with a couple button presses, or you can go through and unlock them. And with Picross like this, like, I want to go through the new mode. And I'll be playing both modes, and I guess I'll figure out how Mega Picross or Picross Mega works at some point. But, it's sort of a bummer. But it's a really good version. Still does not have touchscreen controls, which is still really baffling, but it works really well with controller. So I don't know if it's a super easy like a learning game to pick up Picross, but you could certainly do a lot worse. There's some really bad ones on mobile devices.
Yep.
So, and lastly, Destiny 2. I wasn't really going to talk about this week, but Bungie sort of made a big mistake.
Oh no! Bungie gonna Bungie? Is this the new edition of Sony gonna Sony?
It's really bad too. So let's lay the groundwork. This is the spring event, the inaugural spring event. It's called the Revelry.
Okay, as soon as you said that, I know exactly what the issue is. Yep. Go ahead.
So basically, this is a really cool event. It's a 3-week event that's basically all about chilling and having fun and like super powering your Guardian and just having a blast with it. They introduced this thing where you can superpower your melee, your grenade, or your class abilities. And the more of the event armor you have on, the more superpowered that gets. So, like, I can put on 5 pieces of event gear, and in a quarter of a second, I have my grenade back after I've thrown it. So I'm just like two-handing throwing grenades everywhere. Like, it's super cool. Great.
So this feels a bit like Go Fast 2.0 for a limited time. Very
much so, yeah. And it's just sort of like, you want to punch everything and they explode? Apply this to your melee, and you're going to punch everything. And I think it's really, really fun. And they have, if you remember the Halloween event, they had the Spooky Forest. No one remembers what they really called it. We just called it Spooky Forest. And it was the Infinite Forest, and it was super challenging, and it was it was a very difficult event. They have that back, but now it's called the Verdant Forest. It's this beautiful, like, overgrown green version of it, and it is infinite this time, and you have a timer that counts down. I think it starts at 4 or 5 minutes. Every enemy you kill puts time back on that clock. So the faster you go, the deeper you can get in the forest. My first run, I was hoping we would get to section 7. We got to 31. So
okay.
We did pretty well. There are people out there that are doing hundreds at a time. Pro tip, doesn't matter after you get to 30. After you get to 30, just die and go fight the bosses. So basically, the deeper you get, the more time you have to fight the 5 bosses at the end. Mm-hmm. You beat all 5 bosses, you get 5 treasure chests. You beat 4, you get 4, etc. All of that is really good. The problem is that buff that you apply to yourself is active in the entire game. That's great for strikes and raids and all that stuff. It's active in PvP.
Yep.
Most importantly, It's active in competitive PvP, which has turned that into a nightmare. It's already really rough. Competitive right now is a disaster. And recently, Bungie, I think it was at the start of this season or late last season, Bungie made a change where before, if you would win a match, you'd get 30 points. If you'd lose a match, you'd lose 30. They've doubled those points. So it's way easier to get to 2,100 points to get the season competitive weapon. Because you have less matches you need to do it in, which is great. Especially for someone like me that's fine in PvP, fine in competitive PvP.
Says the guy who got a double kill with one burst on one gun. I'm fine.
I shared that one because that looks cool. I do that all the time. But like, my KD is probably 1.5, so I'm fine. That's good in quick play. That's average at best in competitive, which is how it should be. Competitive should be really sweaty. It should be very difficult. The problem is that, like, if I go in there with my hunter and I equip an exotic, I can start throwing. I'll get 2 grenades at once. They get grenade energy back when I hit people, and they're supercharged. I'm literally throwing grenades nonstop. It really sucks. So I'm hovering around 1,500 points right now for competitive, and how they do it, if you play at least 3 competitive matches per week, you get a points bonus on reset. So it's like you play 3 matches. When reset happens, you get like 120 free points. That's great. I have to play 3 a week. If I win 1 with the bonus, I'm ahead. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do next week because it's a 3-week event. So I managed to sneak in 3 matches before people started really figuring out that they could break competitive. And Bungie's response to this has been bad. Because they...
Was it deal with it, glasses come down?
No, it was very much, they're like, oh, you guys are mad about... Oh, no, wait, Oh, you guys don't like this. It's just like, of course we don't like it, dude. Like, and they were very much like, oh, we thought it would be really fun if, like, you could go and, like, in PvP and PvE, like, you could have all these fun event activities and event stuff. And it's like, yes, just not in competitive. Like, quick play, that's fine. I want to throw grenades all day. In competitive, there's a lot more on the line, especially when competitive is a really bad spot right now.
And more than a little toxic as well.
Yeah, it's...
I've seen the messages you get.
That's from Gambit, to be clear. I don't get a lot of toxicity from PvP. I get it from Gambit for some reason. I still don't understand that.
I'm glad Gambit never changed.
Yeah, Gambit has never changed. I love Gambit. I do not like the people that play Gambit. But yeah, it has been surprising for them to say, like, oh, you guys didn't like, oh, you guys are really mad. We kind of can't fix it, so we'll do better in the future. And it's like, oh my god. Okay.
That is
cool.
100% deal with the glasses come down. That is 100% what they said.
It unfortunately is, but there's a lot of this. We typically, from Bungie, will see them saying, like, well, look, this was really our vision for the event, and we're sorry you don't agree with it. And, like, it's very much like it's a non-apology.
Mea culpa?
No, it's like when celebrities do something wrong, and they're like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to say, I'm sorry I did something bad. This was Bungie saying, I'm sorry we did something bad. Like, it's this very honest, like, we didn't think it all the way through, and we're really sorry this was bad. Mm-hmm. So, appreciated. These next 2 weeks are going to be really rough. Because, like, most people are in the same spot I am, where if I get to that rank in PvP, I can get 2 or 3 of the pinnacle weapons, because I've been doing them throughout the seasons. I'm just not good enough to get to that level. But now we might all lose a lot of progress these next couple weeks, and that really sucks. So tune in for my next week's opinion about, woof, I lost 200 points in competitive PvP, and I'm angry about it.
Not so revelous.
I was gonna say when Boston burns his disc.
Yeah, well, it's digital, so I'll just burn the whole PS4.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of April 22nd, 2019. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen comes out for the Switch. I love Dragon's Dogma. I cannot recommend it enough. I did see some impressions about it. Apparently it runs really well.
That's good.
There's a little bit of texture pop in every once in a while, but whatever. That as long as it runs well, like, who cares? If you have not yet experienced Dragon's Dogma, that sounds like it's a really great version of it. So you should go play that game. Mortal Kombat 11 comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Either of you guys gonna pick that up?
Nope, I didn't pick up the last Mortal Kombat. I mean, I'm interested in it for the story because somehow they took 9, which rebooted the entire storyline.
Right.
Then they took 10, which added in like 4, 5, and 6's storyline.
Okay.
And now with 11, they're going back and intermingling these two different timelines of storylines into one storyline.
Wow.
So it sounds real interesting from, a development and a storyline perspective, but it's a fighting game, and I couldn't even persuade myself to pick up Fighter Z for $15 on sale.
Right. Yeah, part of the thing, I feel the same way. Like, I look at it and I sort of go, okay, like, sure, it's ultra violent. I sort of don't care about that anymore. It looks like it's a better controlling game. The animations are way better this time. It looks really great. But what I would pick it up for also is the story, because 9's story was really good in a way where it's like, sure, I'll play the story mode, whatever. And like after 2 matches, I'm like, I'm going to finish this whole thing. This is really cool.
Yep.
And I heard 10 or X did it really well. So I don't know.
X is on Game Pass as well. So
I didn't need to know that. Yeah. Oh no. Steam World Quest Hand of Gilgamesh, which is a really great title, comes out on the Switch. This is they're making a turn-based RPG out of Steam World.
Why not?
Why not? Like, you made a 2D SRPG and you made a cool digging game. Like, let's just keep going through the genres. That looks really cool. I'll probably pick that up at some point, but it has to go on my wish list for Switch games because there are too many of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of too many Switch games, Umahara Kawase Fresh is coming out. I didn't think there was going to be another one of these games, and now they're coming out with one. So
I don't know what that game is.
It's
so,
like
okay.
It's like what Bionic Commando was before it was Bionic Commando. So it's this cool, like, swinging physics 2D side-scrolling platforming thing. But first game was put out in like 82, 83. Like, it's a very long-running series. Box Boy and Box Girl comes out on the Switch. I missed both of these games when they came to the 3DS because they were 3DS downloadable games.
Is this the game that got mad high rave reviews?
Yep. It's like the 2D black and white side-scrolling puzzle games where, like, you're stacking up boxes, and these look really cool. I'm glad they're bringing them over to Switch because I feel like they might give these games a second chance.
Okay, sorry to interrupt the news.
Yes.
All the releases, whatever. Dream Switch game, go.
Dream Switch game? Kind of say Final Fantasy VIII.
Yes, you can.
Gotcha.
Nymph, you're not allowed to say Elite Dangerous. Go.
Parasite Eve.
Okay. Okay.
My Dream Switch game at the moment would be Apex Legends, just to have more people be able to play that on more platforms.
Elite Beat Agents.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, with the touch screen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we could use another one of those.
Yes, we could.
And that's why I was thinking of Parasite Eve, because you'd be able to touch the enemies to be able to lock onto them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I just really want a real third game.
Yes, that would be nice. Coming on the PS4 is Days Gone. This is a release date that snuck up on me.
Can we put a moratorium on LOL Days Gone is coming out, please? Like, let the game come out, play it before you make your judgments. Like,
yeah,
I'm
interested
no interest
in
the game.
Yeah,
like
I hope it's good because I hope every game that comes out is good. Days Gone has not shown well for probably the last 3 years, but it could have come together really nice. Like, you look at Horizon Zero Dawn. Before that came out, everyone was like, nope, this looks super dumb. And you played it and it's like, cool, it's one of the best the PS4 has to offer. All right. I hope Days Gone is good.
I just want that guy to get a break.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah, giant nerd guy who's on nerdy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
He was Doomsday in Smallville.
Yeah. Never catches a break.
Nope.
Now he can't catch a break against zombies.
Nope.
Or freakers. Bleh. And lastly...
Freakers?
What's up?
I said that's the one that uses freakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So dumb. Lastly, and certainly not least, the game I've been really, really looking forward to, Super Meat Boy Forever, comes out PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, iOS, and Android.
Why did you tell me, Boston?
Because it looks really... I feel like I'm one of the few people that look at Super Meat Boy Forever and go, hell yeah, that looks super cool. And I know most people are saying it's not a real Meat Boy game. Team Meat is making it. I don't really care if you're going to be a baby about it. Like, it's a quasi endless runner, automatic runner sort of thing, but it looks super cool. It reminds me more of the Bit Trip Runner games, where it's more about rhythm and going through a level with fast reflexes than it is maybe a Meat Boy sequel, which we probably won't ever see. Hint.
Nope.
Because Ed isn't really working with the other guy anymore.
I don't know, and Ed's a bit too obsessed with Isaac at all times, 126 hours a day.
I know. Have you seen the outtakes of the trailer for Bumbo?
Bumbo? No.
They've been really good. It's usually him voice acting Bumbo and like his kid busting into the room and like stealing pieces of the diorama. It's really good. All right, let's move on to news stories. We got a ton of big news stories this week. Both console manufacturers announced big things this week, so I flipped a coin and Microsoft goes first. Microsoft announced the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. Who wants to make the joke?
How sad it is.
There it is. The Xbox One sad. May 7th, which is right around the corner in just, 3 weeks, for $250, the Xbox One S MSRP is $300.
Too expensive.
Too expensive by $50. 100%. Yep. Yeah.
Too expensive by $100.
Yeah, God, if it was $150, that's a no-brainer for almost everybody. I think $200 would be the real sweet spot there. $250 is... For the same footprint as the Xbox One S, just no disk drive in it, that feels really high.
Well, that's kind of the other problem too. It's still coming with a 1 terabyte hard drive, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So you're already going to have to sink in more money on it for an external hard drive because everything's digital, right. And like the smallest game nowadays is what, 60 to 100 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Subnautica is 7 gigs. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because you can't replace the hard drive in it like you can with the PS4. It doesn't have SD card support or anything like the Switch does. So you will have to get at some point, unless you're sort of juggling games, you will have to get an external drive. Plus, it does come with 3 games on the drive as it ships: Forza Horizon 3, Minecraft, and Sea of Thieves. Forza Horizon 3 is pretty big too, so
why not 4?
I think because they want you to get Game Pass, and it is a deal. Game Pass is $1 for the first 3 months, which is great. That's a great price for Game Pass. $10 a month is great for Game Pass, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, you like Forza Horizon 3, we've got a new one, and it's on Game Pass.
Minus $100 from that price and have a 3-month code for Game Pass included in it.
Yeah. Yeah, 250 is. I know compared to like what both of these consoles launched at, $250 is a steal, but compared to the Xbox One S, it's just not enough. $200 is. I would say if you're gonna buy it, wait for either spend the $300 so you can buy used games, or wait until it drops to $50.
Yep.
So, they did announce this alongside with the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate that's going to launch later this year. That's that $15 a month thing where it combines Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold. The one thing that I thought was really smart that they announced is if you're already subscribed to both Game Pass and Gold, you do not have to go to Game Pass Ultimate. You can if you want. If you want to keep those separate, knock yourself out. They're not going to force you to migrate to the other one, which is great.
So you've got Legacy Gold.
Yeah, you've got that hot Legacy Gold, yeah. So a couple days before that, Wired put out an article where Mark Cerny from Sony was like, hey, why don't you come to Sony? By the way, here's the PS5. We're not calling it the PS5, but let's call it that anyway.
Did you hear the real reason behind why this supposed meeting happened?
No.
There are rumors abound that Wired had everything leaked to them.
Oh,
everything leaked to them. And they did what most press officers do with politics and dangerous information. They went to Sony and said, yo, this is the info we got. We're running it.
You want to talk about it?
They just literally said, we're running it. And Sony was like, okay, let's sit down and we'll just do it properly.
We got Mark Cerny in the office, so like, just go talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I did not know about that because part of my news story here was like they wanted to talk to Wired for some reason. CPU is going to be AMD Ryzen, the 3rd gen. So, again, a modern CPU. Don't know any more than that. We don't know speeds or anything like that, and we won't for a while. The GPU is going to be based on AMD's Radeon Navi GPU. It will support ray tracing, and it's going to support resolutions up to 8K. I've seen some people be up in arms about the 8K stuff, and it's like, it's going to support it. Like, it's not going to be... People can still put out games at 1080p. It just could scale to whenever 8K TVs come out. Like, that's not... just chill out.
Honestly, I'm fine with them putting in it. I think it's a misstep.
8K?
I think putting it in is too early. Like,
well, to me, I think it's not even that they're putting in 8K. I think they're just saying, here's relatively how powerful our GPU is. I think them saying 8K is probably not what marketing would have chosen. I think they would have focused on, smoother 4K stuff, faster loading, ray tracing. I think they're really going to push the ray tracing stuff because that's the real hot stuff right now. I think it'd be a real small asterisk where it's like, we can support, whenever 8K comes out, we're going to support that too. Whatever. Doesn't matter right now. But I think if they would have tried it again, they probably would have just said like, yeah, of course we're still going to support 4K. Whatever.
Yeah. Does it come with a UHD drive?
Probably. That's an add-on.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Considering the current PlayStation 4 Pro didn't have the UHD drive.
They didn't talk about that, so I don't think the Blu-ray is their focus at the moment from a let's promote the tech before Microsoft does standpoint.
True.
Yeah. CPU will support 3D audio, which sounds like a thing Mark Cerny really cares about that I don't think most of us will take advantage of.
Community member T-Bomb Rocks is bouncing up and down in his chair at that news.
There you go. I like that they're putting support for that on the CPU as opposed to having to have an onboard amp and like all this extra stuff for your headphones. I like that will be an option, but I don't think most people will take advantage of it, and that's fine. We'll have an SSD built in, which I think is a given for any console that comes out nowadays. I want to remind people that say you can buy an SSD for your PS4 right now, and they're sort of being jerks about it. Yeah, you can. You shouldn't have to spend $100 more after buying a $300 to $400 console just to put an SSD in it. So shut up, jerks. It will have backwards compatibility with PS4 and PSVR titles, which PSVR is the surprising one there.
It is. It's mostly surprising to me because haven't Sony spent this entire generation talking about how backwards compatibility don't matter?
Yeah, until Microsoft unveiled numbers saying like 54% of something like that, 54% of Xbox One users use backwards compatibility. I think Sony was sort of like, oh, whoops, right. And there's a lot of PS4 games out there, so if I can just re-download them onto my PS5, that would be really great. Or migrate them on my local network, wink, like Microsoft does, wink.
Unplug my hard drive and plug it into the next generation.
Well, I don't have an external for my PS4. I just have the built-in 1 terabyte.
I want to say that was kind of the biggest screw job was switching from a regular PS4 to a PS4 Pro. Was if you plugged in another hard drive, it just wiped that hard drive. And even plugging two PS4s into each other still took me about 24 hours to get them to go back and forth. And I deleted a bunch of crap. I think I was down to about 1.5 terabytes of data going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing with their networking stuff, but it's
just
not great.
Steal whatever Microsoft does or license them for their console transfer. That stuff works and it's fast.
The X1 was amazing. Like I literally plugged my X into the same network and I was like, okay.
Hey, we found an Xbox. You want to copy that stuff? It's like, hell yeah.
With the Xbox, does it compress the data at all, or is it just...
I don't know.
That was a big complaint with the PS4 that I had, was when you were trying to make backups, it won't compress anything.
You know, I don't know much about the tech behind it. That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It won't launch in 2019. They were pretty obvious about that. I feel like that was a given already.
Yeah.
Because they probably would have talked about it earlier if it was going to launch this year. They hinted that Death Stranding, pretty strongly hinted that Death Stranding will be a cross-gen title.
Yeah. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's going to be a PS5 exclusive when it comes out in 2022.
It's going to be a next-gen console game.
Yeah.
You know it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, they got to sell the PS5, and Kojima will sell PS5s.
Yep.
And it sounds like there might be a reason why Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2 don't have release dates. Wink, wink. That might be cross-gen or PS5 exclusives as well. Which, why wouldn't you? Let's sell the new console, you know?
Yeah, and haven't the voice actors on Last of Us 2 only just wrapped up performances? Like, I've seen a bunch of them talking about only just finishing the performances.
Yeah, performance capture, yeah.
So, that's still a lot of work.
Yeah. And they obviously didn't discuss price point, but Cerny called it appealing, and when I wrote the show notes, I accidentally typed appalling. So, I don't know which one will be true, but you know that's going to cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And is this second job appealing, or is this...
I don't think they'll make that mistake again. I don't think it'll be over 500. I don't think they'll do that again.
Like, no home console. Like, I love my X, but that being 500 was pushing it a little bit.
That's the limit. $500,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's still pushing it for me. That's why I haven't bought an X yet, and I got my PS4 Pro, like, on sale using coupons and, you know, random stuff.
Yeah.
$500 is a ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, even for a new console, and I have a 4K HDR TV, so like a PS5 is perfect for me because I already have all the rest of the tech out to take advantage of it out of the box.
Mm-hmm. Like, they need to. 500 is a max. Like, full stop, period. It cannot be more than 500. Honestly, I'm hoping this is another 400 war where both of them just drop at 400.
That'd be great. That would be really great if both of them are like, we're gonna beat the other guy at $400. Whoops, we're both at it. It's like, okay, cool. That. I
mean, the X, you know full well some of the tech they developed for the X is going in the next generation for the Xbox. Like the cooling system they use.
What's the code name for that? Is that Anaconda?
Anaconda, I believe. Yes. Okay. But like the cooling system they use is like totally proprietary to them now.
They gotta use that again.
Whisper quiet, like it's
PS4 Pro. Okay, it's like me.
Yeah, it's like a jet engine every time I turn it on. Like, you know that tech's going forwards. So they've already done a whole bunch of the R&D for the next generation. Because I like the PlayStation 4 Pro fine, but when you put down to tax, the X is the most powerful console out there, and you could not build a PC that does the same that the X does for the amount that the X costs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't on PC, so
yeah.
I think this is interesting because I think Sony's coming out with the right info. Obviously, they're not saying like, well, it's a CPU and it's 3.x gigahertz or anything. You know, they're not getting down to the real details of it. But I think they're coming out and saying like, look, we have some tech in mind. Here's the line of technology we're going to use. We've got backwards compatibility. We're keeping some of that. The big thing that Microsoft and Sony both did this gen is they're getting the hardware and the architecture close to the x86 architecture so that development is supposedly way easier. Obviously over the 360 and famously the PS3's difficult development environment. And it's nice that they're coming out and saying, cool, here's some of the stuff, here's some of the expectations you should have. Obviously we'll be talking about it more, probably not at E3, but you know, in some future live stream they'll talk about more stuff. So we'll see.
Well, and something else too that I've been curious about is I'm wondering, because it's not something that everyone thinks about when they think new consoles, is do you think the price in games are going to go up too with all the ray tracing support?
That's the question.
Everyone's well, I'm not going to say everyone, but I mean, they have the numbers for how many people now buy standard edition, which is still $60.
Right.
You know, then you got your gold edition, which is $70, $80, $100, $200.
Right.
So I'm wondering how that data looks to them, and if they're thinking, oh, you know, we can bump these up to $70, $80 now for the standard. And
I think you can make the argument that Jim Sterling has been making. Feel how you do about Jim Sterling. I'm hot and cold on him at the same time. Games don't cost $60 anymore. They cost $60 with a $35 season pass, or they cost $90 that comes with the season pass and the game, or something like the $60 game isn't the complete game anymore, quote unquote. And I feel like that's true to a certain extent, because I feel like there's two extremes. You have something like Fortnite, and you have something like Apex Legends that's free, and then you're expected to buy the battle pass at regular intervals, or you're going to pay a little bit of money here and there for cosmetics. Or you have games as service games that there's a minimum expectation there, or you have whatever Ubisoft's putting out that's, you know, $100 to get all the cool stuff. So that $60 price point probably doesn't matter that much anymore.
Well, it doesn't until the standard becomes $90 and you're still paying $30 to $40 for your season passes.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
I mean, we know that's what's going to happen. Like, either it's going to stay the same and we're going to keep the same market that we have right now, which is the additional add-ons, the season pass, the additional content, so on and so forth, or we're gonna get the price rise, and they're still gonna keep all the same stuff in. It's still gonna be it's a $70 game with a $35 season pass, and you know, all this cosmetic stuff attached to it. The game, I am fine if they want to increase the price of games, if they want to keep the market the way it is right now and increase it by $10, $20. I am fine with that. I will buy less games because of that.
I'll buy way less new games too.
But at the end of the day, game prices should have gone up. Even when they were $50, they should have been $60. They should have been $70. Game prices have somehow not risen with inflation the way everything else has. Movie tickets
Thankfully.
have gone up. All of this other stuff's gone up.
Right.
Game prices have stayed the same because I think they feel they need to hit that market.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if they're going to keep doing full price games, they're probably going to increase it at some point. I hope they don't. I like my $60 games.
Yep.
I like picking up a season pass when it's $5 on sale.
Even $60 is real. With the number of games that are coming out, $60 is still really expensive.
I think that's the thing, is I think we look at it different from the developers. Like, the developers look at it and say, our game is worth more than $60.
Right.
Whereas we look at it and say, there are 20 games out this week. They can't all be worth $60.
Right. Well, and we were talking, too, about the price of consoles. Like, you want to buy a new console, and you want to buy Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima and, like, a couple of games with the brand new console because you want to get the full experience with it. That gets really hard when a console is $500 and you're buying 3 games for $80 a piece. You know, like you're dropping down a hot grand for a new console and a bunch of stuff, and that becomes really hard.
I think that's where backwards compatibility comes in.
Yes, and that would be great for me. Like, I can just fire up, and hopefully they would do something like what Microsoft has been doing with enhancing some of these older games. I just found out that SSX3 has an Xbox X enhanced mode that makes it look incredible. I want to go get an Xbox One X now. You know, like, and that's how it should be. Like, when the next generation of Xbox, when the next gen Xbox comes out, whatever they're going to call it, Anaconda, I want some of the Xbox One games to be boosted a little bit. Like, go back and play Gears 4 and have that boosted a little bit. Have 4K and 60 frames and all that stuff. But that would be my expectation.
Gears of War 4 was already 4K.
Yeah, but like 60 frames in single player.
Okay.
You know, like, it just boosted a little bit, you know, like, not redo it, but not like, here's Gears 4 with ray tracing. It's like, I don't care that much, but...
Give it the hashtag enhanced treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Brought to you by Xbox.
That's kind of my other thing, too, because I remember back when PS4 or Xbox One came out and everyone would argue, it's like, well, everything should stay at 50. I don't care if developers, I mean, if you put out a $70 worth game, I'm willing to pay it as long as it's actually a $70 worth game.
Right.
But nowadays you get games $60 right now, and you're basically an alpha tester where, oh, hey, this game doesn't work, or
Anthem.
You know, yeah, or like the game-breaking bug with Anthem, where it could potentially wipe your PS4. That's not what I'm paying $60 for to be a tester for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
and that's like Moon and I were just joking. That's been an exceptionally bad problem for games of service games, and I feel like that's why we're so hot on Division 2, is because it's a full game, and the roadmap they have come out is like, all right, we have this. Here's this game. It works. It's 40 to 80 hours genuinely, and then here's all the cool free stuff you're going to get over the next year. Not here. We're finishing the game. The game is done. Its box copy is good. Here's the additional stuff. We don't get that very often.
No. I mean, it's why I tapped out on Destiny 1 and 2.
Yep.
It's like, I paid you $60. It was not worth my money as far as I was concerned. Right. I'm not giving you another $60 so I can make my first $60.
Yeah, I'm not going to pump more money into it to make the game better. Like, that's a sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, that's gambling at its best. When the fun stops, stop, is what I always say.
Exactly.
And that was a really great joke that no one is going to get. I'm just going to explain this because I have to now, because I just made a great joke. Okay. When the fun stops, stop is the motto for the British Gambling Commission, the people who keep an eye on problem gambling.
There we go.
It was a very good reference.
Our British fans are already laughing.
Exactly. Yeah. I had to explain it.
All right, let's move on to our next news story. Alert!
Yep.
13 is getting a remake. The last, probably literally the last game I would guess would get a remake. Getting a remake, coming out on every platform in November. No gameplay, no screenshots. Teaser trailer pretty much looks like what that game would look like in 2019. So I'm pretty excited about the possibility of playing 13 again, maybe with a lot of more modern stuff around it.
It's a really good game.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's really cool, and if they could make it more the gameplay more modern, not that it was bad, it just was a PS2 and original Xbox game.
Yep.
They can modernize that stuff. I think it's a pretty cool game. I hope people play. I hope it comes out. I hope it's good. If it is, we will not shut up about it.
Yep.
Apologies in advance. That'd be like if Alpha Protocol was getting a remake. We'd have a countdown at the beginning of every episode.
Don't tease me with that. Come on.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. Microsoft, make it happen. And last news story here, a little bit of a sad one, but sort of a celebration. EA is shutting down servers for the last-gen versions of Burnout Paradise. They've been going for 11 years.
Thank you, Criterion, for putting up such big walls, even when you got shut down, that they needed to keep that thing open.
Yeah.
That is the beauty of fans,
right?
I think.
You better not shut this down.
Considering EA shuts down like the sports game title servers, a year after they're out?
18 months.
11 years is something special. And
it's unheard of. It's as long as this show has been running. So I guess that means the TVGP is over. We had 600 good episodes.
I'm going to have to boot up my my 360, get my save on the cloud, and then get those online achievements before they go away.
That's right. And then you can get the achievements in the brand new version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just joking about the end of the show. We have 400 more episodes. So let's hit our questions for the week. Jimbo Jangles sends an email. Says Jimbo Jangles here. Hello.
Hello, Jimbo.
I think this question was asked a few years ago, but answers can change over time. What are your favorite Easter eggs / secrets in gaming? My personal favorite is the giant megalodon shark that can be summoned out of the ground in Battlefield 1. It is awesome to see and historically accurate.
Yep.
What are TVGP's favorite Easter eggs and secrets?
Mine were all the ones in the Metal Gear Solid PS1 game. Just all the dumb stuff they put in there, like the ghost that you could take pictures of.
Yeah, I love those ones.
Being in areas fast enough where you could see Johnny, when the first time you get locked up, see Johnny having to run to the bathroom. If you got fast enough, there were 2 times you can see Meryl without pants.
Right.
I mean, those were dumb, but I mean, they were just in there. And if you didn't
at the time, they were
there,
really cool.
Yeah, and if you didn't know that they were there and you ran in there, and you're like, whoa, wait, what's going on?
Right. There was that cool sign in, I think it was GTA, one of the GTA games on PS2, on top of that bridge that said, like, this is not an Easter egg, you shouldn't be here, something like that.
Yeah, there's nothing up here or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Skate 3000 in Dead Space 2. There is the advertisement for Skate 3000 in the Dead Space 2 foyer kind of area.
God, that's right.
Which I absolutely adored.
I'm reading a couple ones here. There's that Minecraft Easter egg in Borderlands 2.
Yes.
I totally forgot about that one. That one was good.
DICE also, with all of their Battlefield games, they have the special reload animations.
Oh my god, I love those so much. Where like another hand comes out and like pulls the magazine out.
Like you'll have a guy holding a gun with 2 hands, and then all of a sudden a third hand, he'll eject the mag, and then a third hand will show up out of nowhere and do it. There's the force reload where he like uses the force to jam the magazine back in.
That's right. God, what else?
Night Springs, Quantum Break. Quantum Break has the Night Springs episode at the very start of the game, which is a callback to Alan Wake, which I absolutely adored.
They do. I forgot about that. I'm trying to think. I feel like we've been getting less of those. Or they're like...
The super pop culture
yeah.
Mostly these days, where it's like not a reference that you need to dig into. It's just like, oh look, here is a meme that was active when this game was coming out.
Or like these 5 figures in this broken down store kind of look like the Power Rangers. It's like, okay, I get it. Or like Borderlands 2, they had the Ninja Turtles reference where it's like, okay, it's fun, but that's pretty obvious.
That game was nothing but memes.
Yeah, that was the references the game is what Borderlands 2 was.
I forgot. I didn't realize until I saw this. This is probably my favorite one now. Metal Gear Solid 5, apparently the Outer Heaven throws you a birthday party when you play the game on your birthday.
That's kind of cool.
Snake blows out the candles. I did not realize about that.
That's really good. There's also the PT reference in Metal Gear Solid 5, where they have the radio from PT in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right. I'm trying to think of any better recent ones.
Kojima throws all kinds of random stuff in his, too.
Yeah.
We did see Clever Girl in The Division 2 this week.
Did we?
Well, I did, yes. My wife and I did. There was an upside-down car that looks like it being pushed like towards a cliff edge, and it had a big sign on it that said Clever Girl.
Great. That's really good.
Which is a double reference, so that's kind of cool.
I can't think of any recent ones. I think you're right, Moon. Like, most of them are sort of like...
It's all meme-based these days.
This one in the background looks like Grumpy Cat, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, give me a would you like to know more reference? Like, give me
I'm doing my part.
A proper deep-cut reference, and I love it. Especially if I get it. If I don't get it, then obviously I don't get it, but...
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous is full of references. Like, it's
all the station names and stuff.
Station names. I had a Captain Attack Me called Zap Brannigan, which is a Futurama reference.
Yep.
And the best thing is his rating was useless. So
That's really good.
And my wife today found a station that had a science lab on it, which was the Cave Johnson Memorial Science Laboratories.
Oh man,
That's
great.
There's also a Leonard Nimoy station as well.
Well, there should be.
They got all kinds of crazy stuff in that game, though.
That's cool. I don't know. I'm excited for was it the patch coming out on the 23rd? The newbie zone patch. We'll see.
And this is where Boston joins us.
Man, we can get you in.
Join the dark side.
Well, you can be a gunner on my Anaconda. There you go.
Excuse me, sir. I am married. T-Bomb Rocks asked us a couple questions here in Discord. With the recent Wired article, Mark Cerny spoke about the features for the PS5. The thing that got me the most excited was built-in SSD hard drive. I currently use one on my Xbox One X, and it makes a huge difference. Now being designed from the ground up, every dev can take advantage. I also feel Xbox will follow in similar suit. My question is, besides graphics, what are some features you want from next-gen consoles? Say it loud for everyone in the back. Better wireless chips. Please.
No, that's
Sony.
PlayStation people who need that.
Yeah. Microsoft's is okay, but like spend the money on your network hardware. That's so important in consoles nowadays, and not just the wired one. Both, please.
Sony's biggest problem is their horrific network and network infrastructure. Like
I was gonna say, like their biggest problem is PSN.
Yeah. One of the most arcanest of technologies.
Yeah. I feel like, the speed of certain things like RAM, like if you can get that at a great speed, a lower amount of RAM will probably do pretty well.
Honestly, for me, I want better AI. Like,
yeah.
On most things these days, Jacques Villeneuve, Formula One driver, ex-Formula One driver, said back in the 80s it was always great because they made amazing games with limited things.
Right.
And these days they make amazing games despite the bad programming, which
right.
feels like a little bit of a kick in the teeth to programmers, but, things have changed. I want to see the level of game changing that comes with like upping the AI routines and the options and things like that. Like one of the reasons I love The Division is people will constantly try and flank you, and you need to be alert and on the ball and ready to shift at a moment's notice, because otherwise you're going to die. The first time I ever had that kind of experience was the original Fear.
Oh god, that AI was so good.
It wasn't good. It was written really well so that you thought it was great.
Yep.
And I want them to take that kind of approach and just give me more routines in the AI, make them people act both more predictably and more unpredictably, depending on who you're dealing with. Like, give me better AI. Graphics can only go so far until it hits the uncanny valley. Go play a David Cage game if you want to get better graphics.
Right. Or don't, because they're not good. But I feel like that's the consoles have historically always been really CPU bound. Like they have really good GPUs, and that's the focus. And then the CPU is the thing that's always lagged a little bit behind. I'm hoping that Sony seems to be focusing on it this time. I'm assuming that Microsoft will too. Hopefully that will give that power to AI developers.
Mm-hmm. I say that the biggest thing I want to see is the type of devices you can hook up to your console, as well as button mapping. And this is more along the lines of disabled gamers,
right?
Just because a lot of people can't hold a control. Like Moon has the issues with his hands. Maybe it'd be easier for you to play with a mouse and keyboard. Maybe it'd be better for you to play with a different style of controller instead of you having to buy a third-party dongle for this to kind of work out.
Right.
But like different styles of controllers just to kind of help out with different people. And they've come a long way from where they started, because now you can start seeing in a lot of games with the colorblind options.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot more that they can do, and it's kind of one of those things that just gets thrown on the back burner.
Yeah.
No one really thinks about. And I believe it was Microsoft last year that released a new type of controller for disabled gamers and gave them wrote up the programming and stuff for that to kind of help them out with that.
Yeah, that's the adaptive controller. Yeah. And it's most importantly, it's cheap because those things are usually like $700-800, and it was $120. I think it was
$120, and it works with pretty much everything you could already have.
It has like the RJ11 jacks on it already. So I'd like to see more of that stuff in the OS. That would be really great. What I would like to see from a software standpoint on the Anaconda and the PS5, please put a little bit more processing power into running the OS smoothly when a game isn't running. PS4 is a little bit better. I don't like how laggy the Xbox One's OS is, and PS4 isn't like 60 frames, 4K. It's not this revelation, but I would if I'm not running anything, I would really like to just move around the OS without lag. That would be really great.
Probably a dumb request. Give me 2 more USB ports, please.
Sure, yeah.
Because right now they have what? I think the Xbox has got 3. I don't know about the PS4.
PS4 has 4, 2 in the front and 2 in the back.
Yeah.
And so if I have an external hard drive hooked up and my controller plugged in while it's charging, that leaves me with 1 port left.
Right. Maybe for like Astro headset, and that's about it.
And that's what my third one is for. It's plugged into my Astros. So how exactly am I going to use anything else with it?
Buy a low-powered
splitter.
Yeah, terrible USB hub. That will probably not work.
No, mine. I actually got a cheap one. I think it's a Belkin. Let me see, because that's what I have my HOTAS and keyboard hooked up to. It is a Targus.
No, there you go.
Whatever this
Here you go for
piece of crap was, cost me like $5.
Miraculously works.
Yeah, it works with the mini keyboard that I picked up in my HOTAS for the Xbox One. So
yeah. I don't know. I feel like we got an achievable wish list here. So Microsoft and Sony, just go do it. Should be easy, right?
Yep, we offer high F for
that's right. We are
consultancy.
Yeah, we are available for consultancy.
Oh, and I got one more better. Better durability, because my kids beat the living crap out of these consoles.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be a steel box, but
don't make it like the original Game Boy where it's indestructible.
But I mean, at least if I accidentally drop it 2 feet from the ground, just give me the hope that it's still going to work.
Right. Instead of being like, all right, let's go back to Costco. Let's get another one.
Yeah.
T-Bomb Rocks asks another question here. With the recent full games list of the Castlevania collection and the Sega Mini, more games announced... with the Sega Mini getting more games announced, it has me thinking, do you think we'll ever get a collection or mini console version of the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine?
You're out of my league now, because we didn't have the TurboGrafx or the PCI Engine stuff in England.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about this is what Jeff Gersman talks about, because he's obsessed.
I feel like there wasn't the fervor around the TurboGrafx or the PC Engine stuff like there was there would be for the Castlevania collection. It's like, all right, here's 10 Castlevania games, however many are in there. Or like this Genesis Mini, the Mega Drive Mini. That obviously, for people our age, that's obviously a big draw for, here's 20 classic games, whatever. But TurboGrafx, I mean, people know Bonk and people know Ease, but that's kind of it for really popular games.
I know one of those, and it was on the Mega Drive.
Which, the Ease games?
Bonk.
Oh, Bonk. Yeah. But it's not... That to me is like the second tier of consoles. And I feel like if you get one of those, it'll be like one of those controllers you plug into the TV and it's all on the controller. Nothing separate like that. This is probably the great time to mention, we talked about during the break, Capcom showed off their arcade collection stick that just this like monstrous, horrible chimera that
the logo
no one should have approved ever.
How much does it cost?
$260.
Yep.
$260. You could get an Xbox One SAD for $10 cheaper.
But would you be a better person?
Yes. Oh man, what a thing. Jeez. Man. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone, for sending us in questions. As always, we really appreciate it. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M on the ones or numbers. Get all the cool behind-the-scenes stuff. There's behind-the-scenes for normal episode this week and for the Game Club episode. Get early access to stuff like We Roguelike It. We're 2 weeks into a brand new game right now, Cave Blazers. Come join us for that.
420.
What's up?
I said 420. It was a weed joke.
That's
Keep
right.
going.
421 Blaze It. And other cool stuff like my handwritten show notes. They're not always legible, but they're fun. Yeah.
I record a whole show and he doesn't mention it. ODNF.
ODNF, yes. It's early access there. Dynamic Soundtrack is early access there, too. A lot of good stuff. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones or numbers. Yes, go ahead.
And before he signs off, remember, folks, 100 patrons, share around.
That's right.
Boston has to stream a game of our choosing that's scary.
A Resident Evil game to completion. Right.
So spread it around, folks. Get me $101 backers and get them in here so we can get Boston playing a scary game on stream.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for Resident Evil 7 in VR, and I noped right out of that.
Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah. Don't forget to join our Discord, discord.gg/tvgp. Come hang out with us. There's always a ton of conversations going on, so you will find peeps to play with, peeps to chat with. And I think that's it, so we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Nymph, do you have any titles?
I have a bunch of things.
Good news.
All right.
Hit me with those titles.
Not into the patches. Jingly bits. I love me a jingly bit. I got my pants. Phallic cockpit. Reading is good.
That's right, reading is good.
Bomb of Super Meat Boy. Cat scaling you. It is infinite this time. Should be really sweaty.
Oh boy.
When the fun stops, stop. And nope right out.
All right, Moon, how about you?
Well, I'm just going to repeat because I'm too stupid to cross out what he's already said.
Okay.
So, Jangly Bits, casual military style. I have a machine gun. Generous God treatment. The controls, ... suck. You have a problem. Go Fast 2.0. It should be really sweaty, which I just love that title. Legacy Gold. Excuse me, sir. And Xbox One sad. And When the Fun Stops, stop.
I have Dangly Bits / Jangly Bits, whichever one you said.
Jangly.
Jangly, okay. I'm a space reindeer. The Generous God treatment, which has my vote. The old swing and climb. should be really sweaty. Go Fast 2.0 and Legacy Gold. I'm voting for the Generous God treatment.
Yeah, for me it's that or it should be really sweaty.
Yeah.
Generous God treatment does have a good flow to it though.
It's good. It's punchy. What do you think, Nimb?
Yeah, I'm fine with Generous God treatment.
Okay. I'm going to circle it. It's a lot of good titles this week.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's me, your Generous God. What can I help you with, my son?
I almost threw my cush ball at the camera then. If it was at any risk of disconnect, it wasn't there any risk
if I was in person,
my headphones,
that kush ball would be right in my face. Deservedly.
Yes,
on this Easter Sunday, how can I help you? Would you like a ham?
I don't know, whatever. let's go. I've got nothing.
I like your Tron shirt, by the way. We didn't mention it because it's sort of off stream.
Okay, let me just, before we go off stream then, before we record the final bits, welcome all you additional content for patrons. Let me see if it actually is working.
Oh, right.
Oh.
TVGP After Dark.
It actually glows in the dark.
That's pretty great. All right.
Oh.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 600 for April 22nd, 2019. The Generous God Treatment.
He giveth and taketh.
He really does.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us live. Thank you, Mixer, for being cool. Big shout out.
Thank you, Mixer. Good job. Oh, before we hit stop,
yes,
it's the Brook Xbox One adapter for Xbox One controller to PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, remap turbo, wireless adapter, and rechargeable battery.
There'll be a quiz on that next week. Go get it.
Say again?
All right, thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.